This is another one of my new pickups. It came last week, but I just haven't had the time to do a video on it. Now obviously I've blocked out my name and you can already hear a disc rattling around, so I hope it's nothing, there's no damage to it. Now I already know what the item is, but I wanted to kind of let it be a kind of a surprise unboxing. So without further ado, we shall get on with the show. I hope everyone's doing alright. Obviously around the world, we're and also the sad news of Queen Elizabeth II passed away a few days ago, and obviously, so especially here in the UK, a lot of the British people are in mourning. So I want to pay my respects to the Queen Elizabeth II. Anyway, as you can see, it is a Blu-ray, but what Blu-ray it is, we shall find out. And as you can see, it's a Star Wars Blu-ray, and it's of the movie Solo, a Star Wars story. I shall say my thoughts on the movie. I might do a little mini review, but not too much detail about the actual movie. So you can see the Blu-ray there. I bought this second-hand. I bought this off Music Magpie for £3.19. Now there is reason why my reasons of the actual movie, why I got it, and why I got it at that particular price, which will lead into the actual review. And according to this, it says it's 2 discs. Well, fingers crossed it is, because as I said before, I heard this rattling around. As you can see the extras on here, I'll put this close up. Oh, sorry, my iPad going off. Trying to see what it says on here. It's very difficult to see because they made this so small. But yeah, maybe if I just sit there, you can see what's on the actual. You can pause this and then get a closer look. It does say that the running time of the film, I think, is 135 minutes. So that's over 2 hours plus. So you've got that on the actual Blu-ray. And I think it says here, aboard the Millennium Falcon in this epic adventure, Solo, a Star Wars story, through this series of daring escapades deep within the dangerous criminal underworld, Han Solo befriends his future co-pilot Chewbacca and meets the notorious gambler Lando Calrissian. So yeah, that's what you get in there. Yep, it did come with 2 discs, as you can see. One of the discs was just rattling around. And as you can see, what I will say right off the bat is the actual disc does have you actually got disc art on the actual Blu-ray disc, which is a rarity these days. And normally they just put like a plain, it's either silver or they'll put like a blue color over it, and that's all you kind of get. But as you can see on the main Blu-ray disc, the first disc, you can actually see it's basically the front cover of the poster, or the front cover of the Blu-ray, the artwork, which is kind of cool. I commend them for that, for putting all the colourful artwork on the disc rather than leaving them being boring. We'll check to see if there's any damages, and as you can see, this is second hand. I can't see any scratches, any fingerprints, or any smudge, or any you get those micro dirt on it or fibers on it. As you can see, clean as a whistle, so I'm pleased there. And then you've got the second disc, which is the bonus Blu-ray disc, which is cool. Back in the day, what they used to do, they used to be a little bit lazy when they would do a 2 disc set. Obviously, the first Blu-ray disc would be also with the Blu-ray with the feature film in it, and then the second disc would actually just be with the actual bonus extras in it would just be a DVD. But I'm glad they've used a Blu-ray, so that's a sense of consistency again. Whatever you may think of the film, the artwork in it is actually really great, so that's kind of good. So I'm happy with that. Again, the disc for something that's secondhand, it's in immaculate condition. If you was looking at it, like obviously my face there, you would say that it would be brand new. Of course, it's just missing the brand new smell, so that's kind of great there. I don't know about I know with the Region 2 one that we have in the UK, there's no digital copies of the actual movie. But in the I don't know, maybe in Region 1, maybe they do have a digital copy, so I'm not really sure. Now, initially, I did see this in the actual cinema, and I'm going to be honest, I thought, if I'm being really honest about the actual movie, I thought it was a bit average. I mean, I enjoyed it enough. I mean, at the time, in my local cinema, they don't do this dealing with. They used to do this deal called Super Saver Tuesday. So basically, you could see all the films that are currently out at half price, and it was quite a cheap, decent price. So probably the price of paying for a pint. So it wasn't too bad. But obviously, since the pandemic, they don't do those deals anymore. But yeah, at the time I said that I enjoyed it, but I didn't love it and I didn't hate it. It was basically anyway. What I'll do is I'll move on to the proper review on what I thought of the of the movie. But we'll do a little backstory on the actual movie itself. The movie came out in 2018. They put it under the section of being a space western, which I suppose when you look at all the Star Wars movies in general, that's basically what they kind of really are in a way. Anyway, so that's what you kind of get there. It was directed by Ron Howard. I think most people will know him as he was Richie Cunningham in the TV series Happy Days. He's currently as we all know, that he's a director. I think one of the biggest films that he did was Apollo 13, I think. I'm trying to see what other movies done. He's done films such as Backdraft, the movie Splash, the Da Vinci Code. Trying to think what other things he's done really, because I'm actually just looking this up. He's done How the Grinch Stole Christmas, so he's done he's directed quite a lot of films, but actually his biggest one that also, and he did the film Cocoon, which I actually have a Blu-ray steelbook about. I might actually do a video on it. But obviously his biggest highlight for me, and what I remember him for, was the movie Apollo 13 with with Kevin Bacon, and I think Tom Hanks was in that. I think I'm trying to remember because I haven't seen that movie in such a long time. Yeah, Tom Hanks, Kevin Bacon, the late Bill Paxton, Ed Harris, and Gary Sinise. So yeah, he directed that. So that was his big break there. And as I said before, the movie came out in 2018. The movie stars Eldon Ehrenreich, who stars as Han Solo. Woody Harrelson is in the movie. Emilia Clarke is in the movie. Dan Glover is also in the movie as well, playing Lando Calrissian. Thandie Newton, she's in the movie. Obviously, she's currently been in it'll come back to me. And Phoebe Waller-Bridge and Paul Bettany. Obviously he plays Vision in the Marvel movies. Yeah, but it's called Come Back to Me now. Thandie Newton. Obviously she's currently been in it's on the tip of my tongue. Westworld, that's it. And I think she and that character in it, she's kind of one of the best characters in Westworld. Now, apparently, it says here that George Lucas was actually began developing a Han Solo prequel in 2012, and then he commissioned Lawrence Kasdan to write a screenplay, but obviously that kind of never kind of happened. And yeah, obviously this tells um the backstory of how Han Solo became Han Solo, and obviously all the future characters that we would see in the Star Wars legacy, and how they came to be and how they all met. Now, for me, on paper, that it sounds kind of it's to me it's kind of interesting, but to me, I think sometimes you get some characters where it's better to leave the mystery with the Han Solo character in particular. I liked the mystery of kind of not really kind of knowing he's kind of or is his origin story, rather than kind of them kind of telling you in it. It kind of sometimes you want there's that sense of intrigue in not kind of really kind of knowing somebody's kind of backstory, and then when you're kind of telling obviously the backstory backwards, because obviously the character's already established, you're having to kind of fit in how the character is going to be, which has already happened, if you see where I'm coming from. Which I suppose that happens with all prequel movies. But with Han Solo, with him being this rogue smuggler, that's what made it, for me, made his character kind of intriguing, because you kind of didn't really kind of know. You maybe heard hints of it with maybe in the novels or in the Star Wars movies, obviously with some of the villains that he had to kind of with like say for example Jabba the Hutt, and you kind of knew that he kind of had a history of him. And I think sometimes it's that mystery when you kind of don't exactly know, but then it's hinted upon, but you don't really know. But I think it works, not knowing someone's origin story, depending on the actual character, so to speak. So with the Han Solo character, it kind of, you kind of don't kind of really kind of need it, so to speak. So you could argue to yourself, right? Looking on it, did we really need a Han Solo, sequel story? Well, it's not sequel, but prequel story. And the answer is, I would say no. But then, being as a Star Wars fan, right, you still kind of want to like check it out and then see what the movie is, because you know what I mean. But as I said, well, in terms of the actual stuff, I think it was entertaining, but at times for me it was kind of unnecessary. Now, the problem is that obviously with Harrison Ford molding the character of, and also with his mannerisms and establishing how Han Solo should be, you then have to get another actor to try to copy and do his mannerisms, and sometimes it just comes across as a bit cheap. And no disrespect to Eldon Eckhart. I mean, I haven't seen him in any other movies, but obviously people will probably know. I think, to me, he had such a hard task, because now you're having to try to emulate Harrison Ford's Han Solo, whether it's come to the facial mannerisms, even the way he talks and the way he moves, and I think that's kind of very, very difficult to do. So that's kind of, so when the movie came out, and a lot of people some people didn't like it, or didn't like it, and they were giving him a hard time. I think it's kind of unfair, because trying to get a character that's established by another actor, and then you're trying to emulate the way that character is, it's a difficult thing to do. Some actors have kind of managed it, like in the Star Trek reboot. You've got obviously the actor playing Leonard Bones McCoy, and not only, to me, does the character actually, the actor, I'm gonna try to find his name here. Trying to have a look, because I don't want to give don't want to do people the sense of injustice here. Okay. I'm still trying to find it, which is kind of really annoying. So bear with me, because I kind of want to explain as to why, as to how some actors do a good job in actually portraying. Yeah, um, the actor Carl Urban played Leonard Bones McCoy in the Star Trek reboot movies. He does a very good, well, he's a very good impression of DeForest Kelly's um, Bones McCoy, and he does it enough where you can tell that it's meant to be him, but then he still brings his own uniqueness style to the character. But that's, to me, is a good way of kind of doing it, where you're not doing a trying to do a 100% impersonation of the character, so it comes across as being a bit all over the place, because it's not the same. It comes, I'm trying to say it's a poor knockoff, but yeah, you can do it with some actors and some characters. You can actually do a very good impression of them, where you think, yeah, you know what, right, that is the mannerisms and even the way the person talks kind of spot on, but it's still different but unique and good in a new way. And I think that's kind of the problem that I had with the Han Solo, because I just kept thinking of the Harrison Ford character, because the Harrison Ford's interpretation of Han Solo, Danny Glover as Lando Calrissian, they did get the right actor to kind of play Lando Calrissian, because when you look at him in his fashion sense and stuff to do with his character, you do kind of get this. You kind of can believe that this suaveness that with the Billy D. Williams version of Lando Calrissian, that you could see it, where you could see that he was playing that character, but then he kind of made it his own at the same time. So I think for me that kind of worked. So maybe it's the casting, I don't know. But again, it's trying to not impersonate, that's the right word, another character. But yeah, I mean, there are a couple of cameos in the actual movie from other Star Wars films, which I won't mention who they are, just in case you haven't watched it. It was a spoiler alert. There is this dodgy thing that goes out throughout the whole movie, in regards there's something worth to do. I think, if I remember correctly, because I haven't seen it in age. I've only seen it once, with this robot, and it's linked to the the Lando Calrissian character, to do with this droid that he has, and that I thought was a bit dodgy, which I don't know why they kind of did that. I mean, there's some people who like it, but for me, it kind of was a bit creepy. But for those who have seen it, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Obviously, I mean, they were hoping to make like a sequel, to start a new franchise with the Solo movies, but obviously I doubt that's going to happen now, because too much time has passed, and I don't think it was well received in terms of wanting to make another movie. But yeah, I thought the movie was all right, but did we really need it? And I'm going to be honest and say no. So that brings me on to my point as to why did I buy the actual movie. Now, when this first came out in the UK, it was £15. Now, if it's a movie that I'm kind of on the fence, but to be honest, I'm not gonna pay that kind of money for it. And then with most movies and Blu-rays now, they drop down in price after a couple of months anyway, and especially if you've seen them on cinema, or if you've seen them on free on a streaming service. What I tend to do now is, just if I've seen them on a streaming service, obviously I'll watch it. I'm watching it digitally, so I'll watch it there, and then eventually when it drops down to a really price which I think is kind of worth it, then I'll buy it when it's dirt cheap. And then, because I thought I was on and off with the actual movie itself and the story, that was kind of a factor as to why I thought, you know what, I'm going to wait until it comes down really, really cheap and buy it. And then also, I'm a big Star Wars fan, so I'm one of these kind of guys where even if the movie is great, average or kind of below average, I still want to have the movie in my collection, because I'm kind of a completionist, where if it's a Star Wars or even a Star Trek or whatever the franchise, a long running franchise may be, even if there's some movies that I don't necessarily 100% like, I still want it to be part of my collection, so I can say, yeah, I've got all the Star Wars films, and you know, so it's part of my kind of collection. So it's, you know, like, it's trying to have you know, like, yeah, a complete collection of a franchise. You know, maybe that's just me. You know, I know some people that don't want to do that, but yeah. As I said before, I thought Star Wars for Solo Story was okay. So yeah, yeah, I don't really like rating it, but if I was gonna give it a rating, I maybe would give it like a 6, maybe a 6 to 6.5. I mean, those are my honest thoughts on the actual movie. As I said, you know, the movie is 135 minutes, so it's just over 1 hour and 2 hours and I'm trying to think, 2 hours and 55 minutes. So that's kind of cool. God, my iPad's really kind of gone off. It's Twitter right notifications. As I said, there's a ton of extras on it. From what I can see, because I can't really see it properly, there is a ton of extras on the actual Blu-ray disc. And as I said before, if you can take a look at it for yourself to see the audio that is available. So I can get this closer. I can make out French and English, and I think Dutch. So you've got those there, and you've got the extras. Maybe I can read it if I can get it close enough. I don't know. Right, if I can keep my hand steady. It says, I think it says a director and cast roundtable. There's extra there which I can't say. Remaking the Millennium Falcon. Escape for Corellia, I think that's it. The Train Heist. Team Chewie. Oh, I'm trying to get some focus. Becoming a Droid. And that's all you got the stuff to do there. But yeah, what I would say, and then there's deleted scenes. So yeah, you can look for yourself just by pausing the video or taking a screenshot and looking for yourself there. What I will commend it for is obviously that it's a 2-disc. I mean, you do get a ton of extras. So yeah, as I said, I only paid £3.19. I paid £3.19 in UK money for this, and again, it's secondhand and it looks virtually brand new, not a scratch, not a scuff or cut marks on the actual Blu-ray. So I'm kind of happy there. But yeah, that's my unboxing and mini review of Solo, the Star Wars movie. Sorry, Star Wars, the Star Wars story. And yeah, obviously it's a rated 12 as well. Again, as I said before, I think the movie, it starts off being a heist movie. So think of it as a heist movie in space, and then you'll kind of get a pretty good idea of what the movie is about. Anyway, I hope people found this this video informative. Feel free to like and to share, because that really helps me out in people finding me on YouTube, because obviously being a small YouTube. So if you can, it only takes a few seconds, well, less than a second, to like the video. If you already haven't, please feel free to subscribe to my channel, and I'll speak to you all again soon. Take care, bye for now, and stay safe.